Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. I'm David Vogel, Judge Executive. Happy to have you here today for our first meeting on May 3rd. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States Denise Clark, will you please call the roll?
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice. Magistrate Woosley.
Here.
Magistrate Greenwell.
Here.
Magistrate Howns.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins. Here. Magistrate Dye. Magistrate Loxton. Judge Vogel.
Having all members of the fiscal court present, this meeting is now in session. At the beginning of our meeting today, I'd like to ask all of you to please turn on your microphones and leave them on for the entire meeting. I've had complaints that votes are being taken and microphones are not on, and the people watching on television cannot understand or hear the vote of each magistrate. So please turn it on and leave it on for the course of the meeting. Now I'd like to ask Denise to please read the minutes from our last meeting, April 19th, 2022. Oh, sorry.
The agenda.
All right. Is there a motion to accept today's agenda? Or do we have any additions or deletions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Now Denise can read our minutes from April 19th.
County Fiscal Court convened at a regular meeting at 2 p.m. with Judge Executive David Vogel, County Attorney John Carter, and the following magistrates in attendance: Brent Likens, Wayne Tice, Kevin Woosley, Steve Greenwell, Chris Howns, Stephanie Hawkins, Bob Dye, and Michael Loxton. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell and seconded by Magistrate Howns to approve the agenda. Motion carried unanimously. The meeting minutes from April 5th, 2022 were read and approved as submitted with the correction that Assistant County Attorney Tate Combs was in attendance in place of County Attorney John Carter. Magistrate Howns abstained from the vote. Melissa Wallace, Development Director of Refuge for Women Kentucky, presented information regarding the nonprofit faith-based organization providing specialized long-term care for women who have escaped human trafficking or sexual exploitation. She provided the phone number for Polaris, the organization that runs the sex trafficking hotline, 888-373-7888. Motion made by Magistrate Loxton and seconded by Magistrate Howns to authorize the payment of the payables. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Tice and seconded by Magistrate Howns to authorize Judge Vogel to sign the renewal agreement with Southern Health Partners with new rates reflecting a 3% increase for the 2022-2023 contract period. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell and seconded by Magistrate Howns to accept resolution number 01-04-19-22 to authorize Judge Vogel to execute and furnish documentation required for the furtherance of Oldham County's participation in the Kentucky Department of Energy and Environment Rubber Modified Asphalt Grant Program. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell and seconded by Magistrate Howns upon recommendation from the county engineer to award the fiscal court parking lot restoration contract to Flynn Brothers in the amount of $24,750.95. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Woosley and seconded by Magistrate Howns to increase the coroner's salary to $51,001.64 per year. A roll call vote was taken on the motion to increase the coroner's salary. Motion carried 8-0-1 with Judge Vogel abstaining. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Howns to accept resolution number 02-04-19-22 to increase the annual base pay for magistrates by $7,596.13 to become effective the first day of the 2023 to 2026 term. Motion carried 5-3-1 on a roll call vote. The following magistrates voted in favor: Likens, Tice, Greenwell, Howns, and Dye. The following magistrates voted in opposition: Woosley, Hawkins, and Logston. Judge Vogel abstained. Motion made by Magistrate Tice and seconded by Magistrate Hawkins for Oldham County Fiscal Court to enter into a corporate partnership agreement with YMCA of Greater Louisville. The motion was amended by Magistrate Hawkins and Magistrate Tice to revise the agreement by deleting the section regarding Calypso Cove and adding a line reflecting an agreement duration of 90-day program from June through August, thus changing the month from May to June in the agreement. Motion carried 6-3 with Magistrates Hounds, Logston, and Dye opposing. Motion made by Magistrate Tice and seconded by Magistrate Hawkins upon recommendation from the county engineer to release bond forfeiture funds and approve payment to the city of LaGrange in the amount of $10,000 for asphalt surface paving of roadways in the Artisan Park residential subdivision. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Woosley and seconded by Magistrate Hawkins to hire Brian Clark as Parks Labor at $18 an hour effective 4/25/2022. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Woosley to hire Paul Stoops as Building Inspector at $27.18 an hour with an increase after 6 months to $28.72 an hour effective 4/25/2022. Motion made by Magistrate Tice and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to enter into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.8101F, discussion or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Woosley to reconvene the open meeting. A vote was taken on the motion to hire Paul Stoops as Building Inspector. Motion carried with Magistrate Tice abstaining. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried unanimously. The meeting adjourned at 4:50 p.m.
You've heard the reading of our minutes from April 19th. Are there any corrections?
Judge, on that very last one about hiring the building inspector, it says a vote was taken, and it doesn't give who voted for. It just said that Magistrate Tice abstained. Was it unanimous? Okay, all right.
Any other comments here? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Carries. Thank you. Time now for public comment, a time during our meeting when anyone from the community is able to address the fiscal court about a community issue. And our first person here today is Becky Zockline.
Judge, and thank you, members of the fiscal court, for your attention. Here, I'm looking for my.
Just have to log in. I guess I don't know.
Okay. Bear with me. Today, I'm announcing that Leaders Don't Litter will be hosting a Pick the Parks event on May 14th. It will be held at Wendellmore Park, Briar Hill Park, and Peggy Baker from 10 a.m. to noon. We're inviting all members of the community to participate in this event to help keep our parks clean. Not that they aren't already clean, but litter happens. So I'm inviting you, members of the fiscal court, to also participate. And please spread the word among your constituents, and hope to see you. Should be fun.
Are you asking people to come to the park of their choice and just to sort of look for a group that is going to be
Pretty much.
picking up litter?
We will have a canopy, a booth set up at Wendellmore, and 2 of our local Boy Scout troops will be manning Briar Hill Park and Peggy Baker Park. And those are small enough venues. They'll be set up near their playgrounds to distribute supplies. All supplies are provided. There'll be gloves and grabbers and bags.
Hey, great.
Ms. Hawkins, is there a reason why Schambach Park's not listed?
For expediency, our first Pick the Parks event, we included every single park in the county, both public and private, and beyond just county parks. And that was a massive undertaking. So just for expediency and because we're inching our way back to in-person events, we chose these three.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Becky. Good idea. Good luck with the program.
Okay. And how do I just escape?
Just close out.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anyone else here today who would like to address the fiscal court? Saying no, and I'll close public comment. Go on to the first item on our agenda. Under county administration, we have our bills to pay, and I'll accept the motion. We pay the bills. Second. All right. Move motion and second. Is there any question or discussion on any of the items? All right. Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now, the next item on our agenda here under contracts and the resolutions is or under community business, I should say, is the first reading of our fiscal year 2022-2023 Oldham County budget. The budget will be posted on our fiscal court website for anyone who would like to look at it, read through it there. And we'll be happy to answer any questions that might be submitted to us. This is ordinance number KOC 22-220-287. This is normally the day we have our first reading. It'll come back from the state local debt finance officer later this month, and we will have it on our agenda again on June 7th for a second reading. At the second reading, we'll discuss items in the agenda at that, or in the budget at that point. So this is just an announcement. You can read it on the website if you so desire. Item under D, under contracts and resolutions, item C is our county road cooperative program. Manager Greenwell, would you like to say anything about this?
Judge, just that it's the annual agreement that we have every year presented to us, and it spells out how we get our 3 payments plus the 3% emergency fund. And this is something we do every year. And then we also have to do a resolution stating that we agree with the roads and the mileage and all that, I believe. So I think that's a roll call vote, and the other one can just be by consent.
Right.
Yes.
Our this allocation, the apportionment of the county road aid for Oldham County, calculated so far by the Office of State Budget, is $722,570.70. The initial payment of this is $420,536. That's for the first 6 months of the fiscal year. The balance will come, I believe, in January. Does it come, Melissa? It comes in the after the second half of the fiscal year. So, and then out of the entire amount, we agree to have 3% withheld, which is put into an emergency fund that we can access or other counties can access when they have emergencies. If you recall, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we had a huge sinkhole over in 1793 and
Huckleberry Hills, sir. Huckleberry Hills.
Huckleberry Hills, right? And we did access our emergency funds for that. So is there a motion, Manager Greenwell, to accept these funds?
Make that motion.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now we have a resolution that fiscal court hereby accepts all road and streets referred to in the prior contract as being part of our county road aid system And we do ratify and adopt all statements, representations, warranties, covenants, and agreements contained in the road the allocation contract. And we do hereby accept said contract, and such acceptance agrees on all the terms and conditions that are stated. And so you're authorizing me to sign this for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. And at this point, I'd like to ask our clerk to take a roll call vote.
That in a motion or a second?
Yes.
I'm not sure you can make one. It won't hurt anything. Go ahead. You want to make a motion to that effect? Or
The motion, Judge.
all right.
Yes.
Moved and seconded that I sign this. And now we'll take the roll call vote.
Likens. Magistrate Tice.
Yes.
Magistrate Woosley.
Yes.
Magistrate Greenwell.
Yes.
Magistrate Howland. Magistrate Hawkins.
Yes.
Magistrate Dye.
Yes.
Magistrate Logston. Judge Vogel.
The vote on that is unanimous. Thank you. Next item on our agenda here is a resolution regarding the annual transportation of non-public school students. The state allocates money to help students get to and from school. Excuse me. And this is a resolution 010503-22. And it's a resolution facilitating payment of expenses by the Commonwealth for transportation of parochial school students. And we do this every year. So is there a motion that I be allowed to sign this resolution?
So move.
Is there any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Under committee reports and recommendations, Road Committee, Magistrate Greenwell.
Judge, we had road committee today, and we did make a recommendation, and County Engineer Jim Silliman's going to talk to us about that.
This is in regards to bids that were opened on April 5th for 3 culvert replacements. 2 of those, the 2 being at Dusty Star Drive and Deer Run Road, are significantly large culverts. They're about 42-inch diameter, and they'll include precast concrete head walls on either end to help stabilize the embankment. The other one is a 12-inch culvert on Grange Drive. And so I'm asking that Fiscal Court award this project to All Terrain Paving and Construction. They were the low responsible bidder in the amount of $156,199. And as Magistrate Greenwell mentioned, this was recommended at Road Committee to go forward to Fiscal Court for approval.
Judge, it was unanimous decision, and I'll make the motion to award the bid to All Terrain Paving and Construction, $156,199.
All right, moved and seconded for this work at the Deer Run Drive and Dusty Star Drive, I believe that is. Is that correct? All right, pardon? And Grange Drive, right. So, any further discussion? Magistrate Hawkins.
Question for you, Jim. The one on Deer Run Drive, when do you expect this to start and when do you expect it to finish, please?
The contractor has to order the precast head walls. So as soon as they can get them fabricated, they'll work on that. They'll probably start on the Grange Drive one first because it's the most shallowest, easy to access. But the contractors to have this work completed prior to the end of the fiscal year. So before the end of June.
Expect it to interfere with any of the other neighbors?
There's 2 ways in and out on Deer Run Road, so they can close that and still have access. Grange Drive is the only one that doesn't have multiple accesses, so they'll maintain traffic on that.
Neighbors get, or would that be up to me to let them know that this is getting ready to close for a couple of days, or will they send out something to those neighbors to say, you know?
There will be locates, and we can work with the contractor to make notification to the homeowners, but it's a relatively short roadway. And when it's closed, they'll know to go the other way.
Go the other way. Okay. And did you tell me the duration of the project? How long do you expect them to be in the area?
Project for all 3 of these the plan is to be done by the end of the fiscal year, so end of June. the duration for that closure itself could be 3 weeks or so. We'll have to see with the contractor. Yes, because again, it's a large culvert with the head wall replacements, and it's fairly deep.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, we've had a motion and a second here now. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now we're at personnel and board appointments, and we have two resignations to announce here from the one is at the Planning Development Services. Bree Highshaw is leaving as of May 11th. We wish her the best. She's found another position that she thinks fits her skill set better, and we're sorry to have her leave, but we understand she's a young lady and would like to work more directly in public relations. So good luck to Bree. Another announcement we have here from Oldham County Police. Carrie McCombs is leaving as of the 20th of this month, and Carrie is going to go into the funeral home business, and we wish her well there in that career. So I think she's been working part-time with Hetty Radcliffe, and just as a evening person, a counselor, and really liked the type of interaction that she was able to have with people who needed her help at that point. So we wish Carrie the best. Item number G, I have a reappointment to the Ethics Commission. I'd like to reappoint Attorney Michael Pate for a term to expire May 7th, 2025. Many of you, I'm sure, know Michael. He's an active attorney in our community and has done a good job. The Ethics Commission, I'm pleased to say, because of the way all of us have worked together, there hasn't been much for the Ethics Commission to do. They have met once a year for the last 4 years to look over submissions from public officials in regard to conflicts of interest and so forth. But we really haven't had any ethics complaints in 4 years, and we hope to keep that record perfect.
Second your
Motion,
motion.
Judge.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We're at our next public comment. This is almost a record for fiscal court. We didn't have too much on the agenda today, and we've gone through it fairly rapidly. So is there anybody who has come in since the meeting began who would like to address fiscal court? All right, seeing no one, I'll close the public comments and see if our magistrates have any good tips for the Derby. Magistrate Likens. Judge. Well, I threw him a curve there because I was looking at Magistrate Logston, but I said Likens.
Yes, they don't know what their name is now.
All right, yeah, right. I just wanted to see if you were listening. Yeah.
Don't change microphone.
All right, we'll try Magistrate Logston here. You got your mic broke, Mike?
You come back to him.
All right, Mike Man, the Mike Man there. That's it. I once worked on the radio with a guy called himself Mike Man, and he was the Mike Man. So, all right, Magistrate Likens. All right, now you're wearing green today, so you know it's not St. Patrick's Day, but that's your lucky color. Is that right? It's Derby Day. All right. Good luck. Magistrate Tice.
Mine is more of a question than anything else. As we review the budget, if we have any questions, do we call the finance department or do we call the magistrates that worked on it?
I think if you have questions about the budget, you call Stan Clark.
Stan.
If you're not satisfied with his question, you can talk to any other magistrate.
Perfect. Thank
His answer, that is. The budget is a suggested budget. If there are changes to be made, they can be made at the second or first meeting in June, although the budget is balanced. So if you come up with an idea, tell us how you're going to pay for it. So or you want something added in or taken out or whatever, but it's balanced. All right, Magistrate Woosley.
Judge, thank you. There are a few groups I want to recognize. May is Military Appreciation Month. It's also Motorcycle Awareness Month. And this week is Teacher Appreciation Week and Correctional Officer Appreciation Week. So I wanted to recognize those groups. And at a time when politics can get ugly and extremely personal, I want to thank whoever's putting out those Chuck Norris signs because they are awesome and well needed. So,
What signs are those?
Norris for Oldham County signs.
Chuck Norris.
Yes, there are several around the town here.
I haven't seen them. Well, what?
Just thank you.
Okay. Does it mean something? I mean, I remember he used to be the rifleman or something, didn't he?
Connors.
I did.
All right, Measure Greenwell.
I had asked at the last meeting about maybe getting someone here to talk about the voting locations and everything like that, because in 2 weeks we're going to be voting, I believe. So I got in my mailbox a really good explanation, and I would assume every voter and maybe everybody in the county got one, but he gave the locations, the times, and all that. So I guess we can go with that. And then the only other thing I wanted to say is May is Beef Month, so eat a lot of beef. So.
All right, eat a lot of beef. All right, thank you, Magistrate Hawkins.
Thank you, Judge. About a year ago, the Oldham County Emergency Services started up a drone or an aerial response team, and they've had a couple of successes. The incident that was on I-71 last week was a huge success for the drone team. Took some great pictures. We were able to stay miles away and look at the video and the pictures and make decisions that would not have been we would not have been a safe distance to make those same decisions. So thanks goes to Rogers Group and Oldham County Fiscal Court for supporting that project. May 15th is the Police Officers Memorial, which I believe is at the LaGrange Baptist Church, if I remember right. Nope. Okay. Gotcha. That's the Police Officers Memorial Day is May the 15th. And also too, obviously the weather's getting nice except for today. And there's a lot of people out walking up and down the streets, some candidates and some just people strolling in strollers. So just be careful when you're out there driving. Sometimes the sidewalks aren't usable, or maybe they are usable and there's already people on them and they're walking down the streets. So be careful. Try to remember, if you walk against traffic, then you can see the car coming at you and the car can see you. But if you're walking with your back to traffic, you can't see what's coming up behind you. And in some cases, you may need to get off the road and you don't even know it. So try to be careful if you're out there as a walker, and pay attention to traffic. Thank you.
It's the 16th at 7 p.m.
Okay. Thank you.
Magistrate Hawkins.
I was also going to mention Military Appreciation Month being this month, and on that, similarly familiar note, also the election is in 2 weeks, and so you have the freedom to vote, and there's lots of people on the ballot this time, and a lot of offices that need to be filled, and new offices like. We'll have a new jailer, we'll have a new sheriff, etc. And I think, Judge, you've got the postcard there, so I won't go through the times, and I'll let Judge take care of all the, looks like you have the voting locations and all that. Okay, so just get out and vote, 2 weeks.
Magistrate Dye.
All right, yes, Judge, and to continue what Magistrate Hound said about the drone, I think that in the next What's Happening, I think we ought to have a section there and show some of the things that we discussed. I don't know if you heard all of that in public safety today, but Chris, I'm surprised you didn't say this, but in the wreck on I-71 with the trucks, there was one of the trucks had some sort of a liquid on it. Was it nitrogen? Hydrogen, well, whatever, it had something.
Yeah, it was hydrogen.
And the temperature on the tanker was very important to the forest people and other safety people. And with the drone, they could zoom in on that gauge and see exactly what the temperature was. And instead of putting someone's loved one at risk, to go up there and see if there was a problem that kind of thing. So we've really taken the whole thing up several levels, and I think that's something people understand is, finding people at night. I mean, they can put lights on it. They can talk to people on the ground. So it's a good thing. And for those of you that have some kids like people in my neighborhood that don't know where the kids are at 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe they can find those kids with the drone. I'm not sure. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Did you get your mic fixed, Administrator Logan?
Nothing, Judge.
I want to say something about we've talked about this here this morning. There was a serious accident in Henry County several days ago. It pushed a lot of traffic, all the traffic off the interstate for about a day, and it created a lot of traffic congestion, confusion, frustration in Oldham County. We have looked at how to handle circumstances like this. We've looked at them for years, and someone may suggest this, may suggest that. There's a lot of moving parts in every one of these accidents, like 70 to 80,000 vehicles a day going through Oldham County on I-71, plus our own internal traffic going to work, coming home. It creates a lot of problems for a lot of people for the length of the accident. So we understand there's a lot of frustration, but we have a limited number of highways to travel on. Many of our streets are not through streets. So it's just a real challenge, but I appreciate everyone's patience. And I know Magistrate Howns referred to some of the fire and law enforcement activity that took place to manage that event. Could have possibly been much worse than it was if the truck was carrying a different type of chemical. But so be patient, give everybody who's out there working a chance, because there are no clear solutions to any of this. And when something happens, they happen anywhere in the region, don't just happen in Oldham County. They can happen in Jefferson, they can happen in Henry, and it definitely impacts all of us. So I appreciate everybody's patience, and if there's a better way to do it than what it's being done now, we'll find it. But believe me, we've turned this Rubik's Cube over many times, and there actually isn't too much in the way of option other than putting up with it and working our way through it one vehicle at a time. So now is there a motion to adjourn? Second. Favor, please say aye. Aye.